Yeah, yeah.
Right? Which is very interesting to note. So I've always grew up with the idea of UFOs and aliens, you understand me, just as, you know, a knowledge in the household.
Yeah, yeah. People just get scared. They think that we're talking about little green men.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about men and women, people that look just like us.
Yeah.
The majority, I think, of people that we calling aliens look just like us, in my opinion.
I would imagine, and if you gotta understand, if I'm an alien, I'm up there, I wouldn't want to come to Earth.
Yeah, no, it's ghetto.
Like, if I got a little alien TV, you know what I'm saying, and I'm watching the reality Earth, the reality TV Earth. That's what it was called. It's called reality TV Earth. And I'm flipping these different channels, and y'all tripping.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, this what the Bloods is doing. This what the pharmacists. I don't ever want to come down there. If I get caught, they throw me in the prison for life. If I don't know all their rules and I trip up, nah, guess what? I'm not coming down there. You understand me? That would just make sense to me.
Yeah, it does. See, it was easier for them to interact with people when we had less technology, and we were more green, so to speak, because there was no immediate threat on their life. There was nothing we could do. Matter of fact, we saw them as gods.
Right.
Now, with all this technology and the military-industrial complex wanting to weaponize anything they can get their hands on, they want to take them down, they want to shoot them down, they want to get their hands on them and see what they can turn into weapons.
Right.
What kind of technology can we convert into weapons for ourselves? How can we reverse engineer this stuff? That's all they're focused on.
Yeah, I mean, human beings are not nice.
Right.
You understand me? Like, we want to steal their technology and then use it for ourselves, and if we get them, most likely you'll capture the science of their biology.
Yeah.
Who want to come to Earth with that?
You put them in a zoo.
Yeah, we wonder if aliens are hostile, but we already hostile.
We're the hostile ones.
We hostile to aliens of other countries.
Yeah,
So I know we're going to be hostile to aliens from other planets.
I know, it's crazy, it's
like,
true.
A guarantee, you understand? Be like, you don't want to let a human being to over one border to another. So you're telling me I'm coming from another planet and y'all gonna let me come kick it and share resources in life? Ain't no way, no how.
Not gonna happen.
Especially, but the old saying is that, you know, if aliens have the technology in which we believe they have and the abilities to travel, and that means that number one, they're much far advanced than we are, which requires a greater level of intelligence. And so they would have more capabilities of wiping us out than we ever could imagine.
Oh yeah.
You understand me? In ways that we wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
Right? As much as the human intelligence has evolved collectively, because, you know, I don't think that the average human being is that much more intelligent than somebody in the 1800s.
Right.
Besides the fact we have more access. Right? But when we talk about true human evolution, we're talking about upgrades of our DNA.
Right.
We're talking about upgrading and the processing of information and how we output that to solve daily problems and issues. And the average person is not that intelligent.
No.
That's why we
the smartphones are making us dumber.
Yeah, that's a super fact.
Yeah.
You understand me? And the radiation is destroying our ability to focus.
Yeah.
And human beings collectively need focus in order to grow. You understand me? Like, if you don't have no focus in your life, you're distracted to the point where you can't give birth to none of your ideas.
Right.
You understand me? So it's like, you know, aliens, I feel like the concept of them are interesting. And I think that the world needs mysteries in order to give us more reasons to be alive.
Yeah.
You understand me? Because the moment we figure out everything else, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You know, we know why the cosmos was created, how it was created, at every single point and step. That the reality of it is there's an impossibility for certain knowledge to be known. We can theorize based on our level of intelligence, but who's to say that the math that we have is like not baby's math?
Right.
You know, and then we discover a completely new type of math that allow us to phase through things and open portals and create different versions of reality and different colors to see. Like, who's to say that there's not a science like that exists? But the same way where we can only see a certain spectrum of the light, maybe our minds can only compute certain spectrum of knowledge.
That's so true. We can only compute to a certain amount because it's only based on our level of consciousness.
Right. But that also means to me though, that I don't believe in the idea of impossible. You understand me? I think that there's something that exists that I don't measure size based on value. So it's like, let's say human beings are just a cell, you understand me? And the bacteria of the universe.
Yeah.
You understand me? That doesn't mean we don't have value, because the way that we experience reality is our value in itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You understand me? That we are energy, and that we wouldn't be in existence if we didn't have a level of value.
Yeah.
It's just that I think we come up with more systems to devalue ourselves than anything.
Right.
We think about how vast the universe is only to think about how small we are.
Right.
Human beings need to constantly downgrade themselves and constantly demean themselves to put themselves in their own place.
Right.
And in that thought process, we are becoming our own gods, sitting ourselves saying that humble yourself, humble yourself.
Yeah.
We try to find a million different ways to humble ourselves.
Always.
Because that would means to tell me that our brain is working to control how powerful we really are. You understand me? And let free and really understanding who you really are, that's when you just start creating more and more.
When you get to that level, anything that you think of, you just do.
Yeah.
I just bought an electric guitar. I never played guitar before. Yeah. I'm gonna learn how to play the electric guitar. You know, my girl was like, "You bought an electric guitar?" I said, "Yeah, I just want to learn how to play it." You know, I bought a violin. I played the violin. Whatever I want to do, I just do it. Yeah. Because I see it as we are this, entity here, and the universe is vast. But I see it as I'm a part of something huge. Where other people see it as I'm just a speck in the dark.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But so let me ask you this: you discovered a black satellite?
The Black Knight satellite. I didn't discover it. It's already up there. But
well, you know the rules on this planet.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we're going by Christopher Columbus law.
Yeah.
You discovered this, man.
Yeah. Well, of course. And so what happened was I had heard about it and researched it years ago.
Well, first let's say, what is the Black Knight satellite?
Okay, the Black Knight satellite is an object.
Like Batman got his.
I know.
His
it's crazy. This is real crazy. So this is an object orbiting the planet. And it's well documented. It's actually on the space agency servers. It's on the military servers. It's on university website servers. The object is that they've labeled it space junk. So what they're saying is this object, which was detected all the way back in the late 1800s by Nikola Tesla first. He picked up a signal from it. Then the 1950s, ham radio operators picked up the signal again and actually decoded the signal. 1960, Duncan Lunan wrote an article. He's a journalist for Time magazine. Wrote an article about the object. It made Time magazine, and then many more consequent articles came out about this object. Because why? It was changing its own orbits. It was in a first equatorial orbit, then it went to a polar orbit. When Sputnik was launched in 1964, it followed Sputnik to the moon. This thing is under intelligent control. It's about 15,000 tons. And so what happened was the United States saw it up there, Russia saw it up there. Russia thought it was us, we thought it was Russia. Then we both said, wait a minute, we can't launch nothing like this. We don't even have this kind of technology. And so they were like, damn, what is this? So they really started looking at this thing and analyzing it. And we finally got a chance to see it close up, personal, with STS missions, the space shuttle missions. Took HD quality video and photos of this thing. And they were like, wow, we're gonna call it junk because we don't know what this is. They're afraid to touch it. They're afraid to move into it and try to, take a piece of it. To see if they don't know if it's going to have a defense mechanism or whatever. They just know this thing is orbiting the planet in a way that it shouldn't be orbiting. And the fact that it is giving off a signal that has been decoded as being the Epsilon Boötes constellation. But that's not a big deal. But the big deal about that is it's giving the location of the constellation where it was in the sky 13,000 years ago. So this thing potentially could be 13,000 years old. And so what I did was I created a documentary, which is coming out in June the 5th. It hits the movie theaters. This object is it's still moving around, still making its own course corrections, and it is still giving off a signal, and the signal is still giving off the location. When you look into the Sumerian tablets, you find out that Enlil owns the Epsilon Boötes constellation, the same constellation that this thing is saying it's from.
So that's probably one of his ships just up there chilling.
Yeah, it's his all-seeing eye. He had an all-seeing eye in the tablets. That's where they got it from for Lord of the Rings and all these things. The all-seeing eye came out the tablets. He had an all-seeing eye, so he could see what was going on the planet at all times. See, when you have a planet
that's
spinning,
why you consider it a satellite.
Yeah, a satellite. When your planet is spinning on its axis, and you have something orbiting this way, it's able to take scans of the planet in a way that can give you a view of the entire planet in so many hours. Right? Versus doing this way, you can only get what's going around the equator. But when you do this way, you can see the entire planet. And so he had that all-seeing eye. And what happened was Michio Kaku made an amazing statement that made me want to make this documentary. He said in Epsilon, it's about 10 years ago, there's a void. It's called the Epsilon Boreas Void. It's the largest empty space inside of a constellation that they know of in the universe. He said, but it looks like light is bending around something. He said, this looks like a type 1, type 2 civilization that's cloaked in Epsilon. So when I found out about the signal coming from Epsilon, and Lil owns Epsilon in the Sumerian tablets, he's an Anunnaki, I said, I think this is all linked. And then I found cylinder scrolls that show the Black Knight in ancient cylinder scrolls. So all this is going in the documentary, which is coming out very soon.
Fascinating, man. I got one last thing to ask you about. You know, you've searched through thousands of pictures from the Mars rover.
Yeah.
And you've actually found a face.
Face, anomalies.
Famous face, though.
Yeah.
On Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that, bro.
Well, there's this object in Cydonia. Ironically, they call Cydonia on Mars, you know, this area where there's this space and these pyramids. On Earth, Cydonia in ancient times is Cairo. So they really know what they're doing. They're hiding through the plain sight for us. But there's a gigantic 4-mile wide face there. And the face is right outside of a city, a pyramid city with a 5-sided pyramid. Now the city, the pyramids, and this other debris, which looks like a collapsed structure, is in a format which there's an angle of 19
Talk to me, man.
degrees. Okay.
Now, before you go to arrive to your next thought process, most people don't know about the number 19, that there are phenomena all across the universe that are at angles of 19 degrees.
That's right.
Including Jupiter's red eye.
Yeah.
You're talking about Yellowstone Park, different volcanoes, all throughout the universe.
Yeah, that's true. And so this is 19-degree angles making this triangle, right? Where these landmarks are on Cydonia on Mars. The face, the 5-sided pyramid, and this other area where it looks like a collapsed city. And so Avebury in the UK on Earth, right by Stonehenge, you have this city there where there's these artificial structures built up from dirt, mounds they call them. And these paths through the land. If you take that Avebury ordnance map from the city, which is downloadable online, and overlay it on Cydonia, where the face is located, it's a perfect match. So somebody on Earth mimicked what was already on Mars, but the only thing is this was like in the 1600s.
It was terraforming, you understand me, and replicating what was on Mars.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
Well, that's some interesting dynamics right there, man.
Yeah.
I think one thing about what we can all agree about this planet Earth is that we don't know everything.
No.
You understand me? And there are schools of mystery, thoughts of mystery that may be very mystery for all eternity.
Yeah.
You understand me? Or maybe we know, but we don't have verification. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate aspect of now is that we need to verify everything so that it becomes evidence as fact.
Exactly.
Because I don't believe the Dogon people actually went to the constellations,
no.
You understand me, and mapped it out and then came back.
No.
I think that they had a connection and an intuitive knowing and understanding that was downloaded transferable knowledge, you understand me? And they didn't have any reason to question it. They wrote it down, this is what we're seeing, because this is what came to us.
Yeah.
Why would information come to a people who are pure, uncorrupted from all of the images, information, the information that we get now in society? When I tell you what's a picture of, you know, an alien, or picture of a mountain, or picture of this place, you're usually going to an image that you perceive as reality. Yeah. What if the color corrected filter may never be what you actually think it is until you go and experience?
Right.
So unfortunately, we have all of this data and information in our head, which doesn't allow us to truly think like human beings connected to reality.
Yeah.
We are connected to the digital structures, and they inform us on what reality actually is, you know? But I wanted to jump off of Earth for a second, you understand me? Look above and see things from a different dimension. Now, one thing that I do know is that I don't believe we have a beginning nor ending. You understand me? I think that the beauty of human soul and human spirit is that it is limitless. And we find different ways to go through experiences over and over and over. And I think that memories are too heavy to be carried over into whatever other phase that we exist throughout life as energy transfer. Yeah. So we go through those things consistently. But I believe that, you know, we are a source, you understand me, which gives us that same power. Yeah. And that regardless of wherever you at on this planet Earth, whatever condition, level, system, you know, whatever you believe in, you have the power to produce change.
Yeah.
And that can be measured scientifically, it can be measured theologically, it can be measured spiritually. Mm-hmm. There's enough evidence, if you need it, to showcase that you have the power to change whatever condition that you are in on this planet Earth.
Yep.
You understand me? And at the same time, we have to realize that there's a game being played on our backs. Mm-hmm. And the only way that it's going to change is if we stand up.
That's it.
You understand me? And we tap into that inner intelligence that allows us to rule over our spectrum of reality.
Yeah.